so close that your eyes close when I fall asleep. Hello guys, I am back with another video, and today I don't have a topic. There were things that were calling me that I wanted to speak of, but honestly, I just didn't feel like sticking to some one topic today. I used to really enjoy watching these videos on YouTube of people who just had things to say and wanted to say them out loud, and I used to watch those videos when I wanted to feel comforted, because it felt like I am listening to a person's views who has something important to say, or something that just makes sense, or something that we don't often wonder. And these videos made me feel like I knew this person, like I somehow have met them or have been a part of their life, and it just made me feel like I have a connection to somebody that, even though I've never met and I probably might never meet, they're a normal person somewhere who has something to say and I have the time to hear. And that connection in itself made me feel happy. So today I wanted to do that with you guys. I think it's also because we are in a time when nobody writes a letter, and I don't know about you guys, but I would love to receive a letter someday. I really would. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat because my cat is asleep behind me, and I do not want to wake her, and that is why I am speaking softly. Not that she cares. She can sleep while music is playing and while everyone's dancing around, but I just feel like letting her sleep in peace and enjoy her little cozy nap time. Today I had all these topics in my mind, like what does poetry actually mean to humankind? Why does it feel so different from everything else? When a person who questions if life is even worth it reads a piece of poetry, why does it make sense to them? Why something that one person wrote can relate to millions of people, and that too in different ways? And then I have my own perceptions of these things. I think poetry is something deeper. It has always felt like something metaphysical to me, and I thought about all these things, and then another topic that was sort of circling my thoughts was how important is alignment within manifestation. And if this is my first video that you're watching, I talk about all kinds of things. I write poetry and I write in general. I'm also writing a novel right now. So I talk about writing. I paint, as you can see. You can't see that side, but I paint. And then I also am a big self-improvement geek and I love to read. I'm reading this right now. If any of you have read it already, you would know that it's great. This is Days at the Torunka Cafe by Satoshi Yagisawa. I hope Torunka is how it's pronounced, but this is beautiful. And yeah, so I talk about things that I like to do, and that's why all these random topics were crossing my mind and I couldn't decide which one to stick to. And then I was thinking that, YouTube is something that I'm doing for myself because I wanted to do it, because it makes me happy. And so why am I putting pressure on sticking to this one topic as if I'm going to give a lecture in a college or whatever? And then I just knew that I'm just gonna talk. I hope you like that. I was thinking about poetry a lot. I started watching this movie called Into the Wild. I think most of you have already watched it. I just wanted to watch it with all of my focus and all of my intention, but the problem with me is I can only do that at night because during the day I just find things to do all the freaking time. I have no patience for sitting idle, like for myself, not for other people. I like watching people relax. I like to relax, but I feel like, okay, I can't just like sit, right? I have to either read a book or write something or watch some nice content on YouTube or watch a nice movie or read some poetry or draw or like do something. So I started watching while I was having breakfast, and then I stopped because I couldn't just sit and watch the movie anymore. And I felt like I had things to do that I'd rather like start doing now. And so yeah, but that movie made me think of poetry in such a different sense. I am more of a love poet, love poems sort of a person. I love poetry and I think it's beautiful. I think it makes sense. I love the feeling of being engulfed by a good poem. I absolutely adore Sonnet 17 by Pablo Neruda. That's one of my favorite poems ever. And if you read that poem, you'd know that how just like heartwarming some things can be, how surreal they can be. And I know that people who have gotten their heart broken can sort of eke things like that, but I think even they ache because they feel something. But yeah, Into the Wild starts with Chris reciting a poem to his little sister. I'll have to Google it and see who the author was or what the name of the poem was. But it talks about pain and parenthood and troubled younger years for people who had issues within their family, and it was a poem about like all of these painful things, but it was written so beautifully that it consolidated into making sense. It consolidated into the pain being unfortunate, but then making sense. And I think that is something only poetry or paintings can do. I think only art makes sense of our pain. I know you must have heard that before. We enjoy watching art that we don't even understand because it makes us feel something, and we don't even realize sometimes what we're feeling, but that is what art does. It doesn't speak to us in language, it doesn't speak to us in words, it doesn't speak to us in music, it speaks to us in emotion. I think somewhere the energy that the painter put into the painting sort of reaches us when we encounter it in reality, and we sort of match that vibration somewhere and realize or understand, or maybe it's not that at all, maybe it's just they might have felt something completely different while painting that painting, but then you saw it and it created a new story for you in your mind, and that just made sense to you, right? I don't even know, but I think life is fascinating with art in it. I'm glad that I get to make art and I get to write poetry. I would like to recite Sonnet 17 to you right now. It wouldn't be complete without that. I don't have my book right now with me. I don't have my edition of Pablo Neruda. I lost it or I gave it to someone, I don't remember. But the edition that I had didn't even have my favorite poem in it, which is crazy, right? It just comes up when I start to Google it. And I do know that his poems were translated, but I'm going to read it in English. The renditions sometimes change, so I'm looking for the one that I like the most. Okay. Sonnet 17, and this is from 100 Love Sonnets by Pablo Neruda. I don't love you as if you were a rose of salt topaz, or arrow of carnations that propagate fire. I love you as one loves certain obscure things, secretly between the shadow and the soul. I love you as the plant that doesn't bloom but carries the light of those flowers hidden within itself. And thanks to your love, the tight aroma that arose from the earth lives dimly in my body. I love you without knowing how, or when, or from where. I love you directly without problems or pride. I love you like this because I don't know any other way, except in this form in which I am not, nor are you. So close that your hand upon my chest is my hand. So close that your eyes close when I fall asleep. Now you tell me, If that isn't the most beautiful thing that you've ever heard, doesn't it sound like magic? Doesn't it sound like all of the romance you could take in a lifetime? I love that poem. I think the first time I heard it, it was in some sort of series that I was watching, and it just made my hair on my arms stand, gave me like goosebumps all over, because so close that your eyes close when I fall asleep. Can somebody love like that? Is that even possible? I am, and I know this, that I am a hopeless romantic. But honestly, I think there's nothing hopeless about it. Except for the fact that I'll always remain this way. You know, I don't know what this video is, why I made it, except for the reason I explained to you. I don't know how much somebody is going to enjoy watching this. I just hope that when you watch this, you slow down for a second and let yourself think. And I also hope that you find something so beautiful that it makes your heart ache with love. And then bask in that love. Let yourself be blissful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.